How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, I need to apologise first time off. I've been taking a few chill out days and stuff like that. A lad that I was in prison with got in contact with me last night. I've not seen him and linked up with him since I got out of prison. He got out of prison. He got gate arrested, fucking horrific. He ended up getting gate arrested, going to strange ways. He's out now, so we're going to link up for a beer on Saturday. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys put to me. On the Coronation Street vlog that I did the other day when I was on a tour, I asked get your questions in, and I also did one when I was in the shower. I said people get your questions in. So I'm going to answer your questions now. It's pretty sad that I've got nearly 8,500 subscribers, and I've only had like several people ask me questions. It's like, what are the rest of you guys doing, man? If you're not asking questions, man. There might be things you want to know. Some people want to know about have I got a girlfriend? Am I single? Am I married? Have I got kids? People want to know, am I going back to crime? Have I got any CV appearances lined up? All the usual sort of stuff, man. But it's a bit sad that, like I say, out of nearly 8,500 subscribers, that only a handful of people are actually asking me questions. But anyway, let's get into it. So a YouTuber by the name of Romy, not Tommy, Romy Robinson asks, if you could change one thing about the prisons, what would it be? If I was allowed to change one thing, I would cut the prison population in half, literally by half, because at the end of the day, prison doesn't work, and prison's overpopulated, it's overcrowded. I would free IPP prisoners, for those that don't know, indeterminate public protection, or in prison for public protection. I would free them. There's about 4,000 of them in the system. I would just cut the prison population. So that's that. Amy Callahan asks, what are your thoughts on the prison officer who was caught smuggling drugs into HMP Liverpool? Well, Amy, it wasn't actually HMP Liverpool. Sorry to be a smart ass. He was actually caught smuggling drugs into G4S Alt Course prison, but it is in Liverpool. You are correct. I'm not actually surprised in any which way, to be honest with you, because, like I say, you've got to think, man. The guy, when he was caught at the prison, he had 9 grand cash on him, and they're trying to say £256,000 or 215 grand's worth of drugs. The sums just don't add up. The amount of drugs to the sum, even by prison, they don't add up. They really, really don't. But I'm not surprised. It's happening more and more. Just the officers that are bringing it in haven't been caught. By bringing drugs into prison, the drug dealers are making money. The prison officer that's bringing the drugs in is making money. But it fuels violence within the prison. Where you've got contraband, you've got debt. Where you've got debt, you've got fear, intimidation, bullying and violence. If I was a prison officer, would I fall prey to it? Would I be smuggling drugs in? You'd be bet your fucking life I would. It's, like I said, you can make 2-3 months' wages in a single drop depending on the amount of drugs you're bringing in. The more drugs, the higher the amount. You know what I'm saying? It's all about supply and demand, risk against reward. Hope that answers your question, Amy. Louise Bowyer asks, can you appeal months after sentence? After she's talking about a criminal sentence, after you've been sentenced at court, can you appeal months down the line? From your date of conviction, you've got 28 days to appeal. That could be your sentence and or length of sentence. Failing that, you can go down the CCRC, the Criminal Case Review Committee, and lodge an appeal that way. It can take a long time. There was a guy that I spoke with at a conference in South Wales. He'd spent 11 years and 43 days in prison, and it took 11 years and 43 days to actually clear himself before he was actually released. He got stupid amounts of compensation. But yeah, you can go by going through the CCRC, but usually you've got 28 days from the date of a sentence. And what is joint enterprise all about? I did an interview with Jordan, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It was a massive, massive joint enterprise case. And I did an interview with his mother. His mother is one of the co-founders of Jengba. Guilty, joint enterprise, not guilty by association. In a nutshell, if you're in the vicinity of, like, say there's a gang fight, right, and there's 10 of you, and one of you plunges a knife into one of the other rivals' chests and it dies, rather than saying, right, if they couldn't establish who dealt that fatal blow, they tie you all together under 300. It's a 300-year-old law, I believe, and they tie you all together, and you just tie you all together and murder across the board. I was in prison with lads that have been on joint enterprise and stuff. It's unfair, man. It's nothing more than clutching at straws, in my opinion. Deborah Zonzola asks, what is a good amount of money to send to a prisoner? Right now, Deborah's actually, she sent me a message on Instagram earlier today. I did reply. Deborah, it depends on the IEP status of the prisoner, because you've got 4 levels. You've got you've got basic, entry, standard, and enhanced. If you're enhanced, you can spend more if you are on standard. If you're on standard, you can spend more than if you are on entry. And if you're on entry, you can spend more than you are if you are on basic. So it depends on what the IEP status of the prisoner is, because the thing is, like, and also if they're on remand. If you're on remand, when I was on remand, I think I could spend £52 a week, £47, £50 a week. Once I was convicted, it was like £25.50 or something like that. So I'd say it could be £20, £30, £40, £50. Depends what your budget is personally. Like I say, you can only spend so much a week. So I hope that answers your question. Right, Lee asks a lot of questions. He's been a subscriber for a long time. He's a top kid, actually. So Lee asks, are there any stories you read in the prison newspaper that struck a chord with you? Now, in prison, there's a paper called the Inside Times. Right now, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not a big reader. When I was in Strangeways, I used to get true crime books out of the library and stuff. That's where I read about Brady and Hindley and stuff, serial killers. And Dave Courtney, who's obviously a friend. But yeah, I didn't read I didn't read the prison news or anything like that, the Inside Times. So I didn't, Lee. So no. Lee latest asks again, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, this is a very interesting question. Now, I'm trying hard, guys. For those that don't know, obviously, I've been in prison. I was involved with the criminal underworld for a very long time. I'm now out of all that. I'm struggling. I'm on my ass. I keep applying for jobs. I keep getting rejected. I've got no discernible skills, guys. I've not got a GCSE to my name. I used to dumb myself down as a thick, uneducated street kid. I'm actually a lot more clever and a lot more shrewder than that. But job after rejection after job after rejection. I would like to get into a position where I could be a journalist, right? Not a scumbag journalist, because there's too many of them about. But I'd love to be a journalist. It's something that I find very interesting. The hypocrisy within the media and stuff, and the like left wing, fucking right wing sort of. It's just crazy, man. But I would like to be a journalist in 5 years' time. I'd like to be settled down and just chilled and happy. I mean, Lee latest asks, would you ever settle down and have kids, or do you want kids? Right now, again, a lot of people keep asking these questions. No, I'm single. I've got no children. I don't have a maternal instinct, like to be a father, maternal, paternal, whatever it's called. I don't really want to have kids. It doesn't really interest me. Don't get me wrong. If I was with a girl and she got pregnant, then I'd be over the absolute moon. Yeah, man. But do I actually want to go out and have children? No, because they just don't really interest me, guys, to be absolutely honest. I'm just looking at the time on here. It doesn't really interest me, mate. But like I said, if I was with a girl and she got pregnant, absolutely over the moon. But would I be bothered if I didn't have kids? No, absolutely not. And I'd love to settle down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I get attention. I even get attention off these vlogs from women, which is a bit crazy. I don't try to do that. But I do get attention. Like everyone gets attention, don't they? Everyone likes attention. Doing these vlogs gives me confidence and stuff, but I do get attention. I'd love to settle down with somebody. I still on all these dating apps that I slag off and stuff, because obviously you're open to meet the one, aren't you? But they're all psychos, man. You just gotta find a woman. They're all psychos, but you've just got to find one that you can put up with. And women are going to start hating on me now, feminists and shit. It is what it is. Lee latest asks, are you ever going back to crime? And asks, if you were, what would your niche be? Robbing banks, taxation, etc. Now, the intention is not to go back to crime. But I'll be honest with you, Lee. If my mum died, if my mum was no longer here, if my mum died tonight in her sleep, God forbid, that touch wood, that doesn't happen. I'd be back in crime, man, 100%. And because there's fewer police on the streets since 1996, since comparable records began, I'd be rolling in money. I'd go back and, like I say, I've been involved with racketeering, debt collecting, the drug world. I say that to my shame and stuff. The drug world, like I say, it's a murky world and it's killing people and it fuels the cycle of crime, because obviously addicts have to steal to get money, to give you the money for the drugs. So I wouldn't know what my field would be. I'd probably be open to all fields. and I'd have my fingers in a lot of different pies. But like I say, hopefully, because I made a promise to my mum that I wouldn't go back to crime, and my word's golden, so I've stayed away from crime. Lee Latest asks again, do you have a hit list of people you're going to deal with one day, or do you have to look over your shoulder for people wanting any form of revenge? Now, I don't have any, because, right, I was very loyal. When I was involved in the criminal underworld, I give you loyalty you'll only get from a dog. I was looking out for other people for the most part, and those people were looking out for themselves. So I don't have any enemies. You get trolls and stuff, mate, but if I take it from an arsehole, I'd fart. You know what I'm saying? But I have to look over my shoulder and reference a hit list. I've got to be careful what I say, but I'd say that there's probably 4 people, right, that, like I said, if my mum wasn't here, it'd be on. But like I say, as it stands, I've got no interest in trying to hurt anybody. If somebody comes to me or comes to my door or hurts my family, right, all the rules go out the window, right, and I can turn into that bastard, mate, and I can flip the switch, yeah. But like I say, anybody, that doesn't make me a big hard man. I'm not trying to be a big hard man. I'm fucking nobody. I am nobody. I'm a big lad that used to have a really bad temper. I'm chilled out these days as much as I can be. But like I say, there's people that have done me wrong. Like there was a family that put me in prison on a witness intimidation charge, which was a fucking bullshit charge. Police informers. If I bumped into them into the street and they tried to call it on, would they have it? Oh, you bet your fucking life I'd have it. Right? But like I say, we're talking hypothetically. Like I say, I'm chilled out these days. I'm behaved. And I don't want to be involved in any sort of criminality. But if someone was to bring trouble to me or try to attack me, I would absolutely defend myself 1,000,000%. That's what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. Lee Latest asks again, what's my biggest fear, or do you have one? Now, according to like psychiatrists and stuff, I've got a predisposition to like a nervousness. Very, very solemn do I get nervous. I suffer anxiety, but like, do things scare me? No. The only things that scare me, and it's going to sound silly, but you get it, horror films I don't like. Because when I was a kid, I'm going to go into that. Someone asked me that further down the timeline. I don't like horror films, and I don't like spiders. Anything else really, really doesn't bother me. That's about it. Lee Latest asks again, are you ever going to get on the road driving? I don't drive, guys, right? If I get into like a car on a driving test, my brain falls out of my skull. I'm nervous, like, I'm not, like, again, certain things, fear, I don't really have fear. But when it comes to driving tests and stuff, I used to get extremely nervous and my brain used to fuck off out of my skull. Lee Latest asks again, do you have any holiday plans? I don't, but he said, where would you love to go, like a dream holiday destination? So I've always wanted to go, right? I'm a bit different, man, to normal kids. People want to go Ayia Napa or Ibiza or Shagamuff. I wanted to go, please. I'd love to go to New York. I'd love to go to Hawaii. Hawaii's probably up there. I'd love to go to a place that Carl Pilkington went on Idiot Abroad, which is called Vanuatu. It's off the east coast of Australia. And it's a load of islands, and there's tribes there and stuff like that. And he actually became in contact with an indigenous, easy for me to say, tribe. I'd love to go there and be around a tribe. I'd absolutely love that. I'd also love to go to Brazil on Carnival. I'd always love to go to, is it Peru, Machu Picchu? I'd love to go to Mexico because obviously all the crazy shit that goes on in Mexico with the drug lords and stuff like that. Where else would I like to go? Vanuatu, Hong Kong. I'd love to go to China. I'd probably be a giant in China. Japan, China, South Korea, Hong Kong, Vanuatu, Hawaii, New York. Yeah, man, I'd love to go to, where else would I love to go? Seychelles. I'd love to go to South Africa to swim with sharks. Just crazy shit like that, man. Proper random. So yeah, that's that. Right, so Lee Latest asks, are you on any medication? And if so, what medication? Yeah, I was diagnosed a few years ago with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know if it stems from my childhood, if it stems from prison. I don't know what it stems from. It stems from somewhere. So I am on, I've been on many different medications. I was sectioned and stuff like that many years ago. And And yeah, I'm currently on promethazine hydrochloride, which helps me sleep, knocks me out. I'm also on sertraline, and there's another one that I can't pronounce for PTSD, sleep and stuff like that. Used to be like back in the day that they used to give me antipsychotic drugs and stuff like that. I think people think I'm some sort of crazy psycho. Lee latest asks again, who's my favourite comedian? Now, I love comedy guys, right? Now, there's a Scouse guy, right? And it's called the Hot Water Comedy Club. And he's called Paul Smith, right? He's a ginger-haired kid, right? And he's if you check him out on YouTube, he's a funny bastard. Scouse guy, funny as anything. Right? I also like Kevin Bridges, Lee Evans, Peter Kay, but I find his stuff a bit boring, sort of dried up a bit. Frankie Boyle, I've seen a bit of Frankie Boyle, man. He's a ruthless bastard, yeah. But yeah, I love like Live at the Apollo, stand-up comedians. Kevin Bridges is funny. There's too many, man. There's too many to mention. But yeah, I'd say Peter Kay, Lee Evans, obviously retired now. Peter Kay, Lee Evans, Kevin Bridges, I'm just repeating myself, and Paul Smith from Liverpool on the Hot Water Comedy Club. He asks, how did I meet and become friends with Frenchie, and under what circumstances? Right, well, what happened, right, with Frenchie? We was friends on Facebook, right? Obviously, Criminal Underworld knows Criminal Underworld, sort of people. I know his people. We all had mutual friends. People know people, usual stuff. We was messaging on Facebook. We had each other's number. We used to send like voice messages backwards and forwards and stuff. And then this was like going back at, like for the past 2-3 years, right? I was supposed to link with him in London at Dave Courtney's, Cockney Gangster Dave Courtney. I didn't end up going down. He did. I didn't. Then I was supposed to meet him in Liverpool. It didn't end up happening. Then I read in the paper he was back in prison, right? So then I ended up back in prison. He was in Preston. I was in Forest Bank. A lad that was shipped in from Preston, I said, is Frenchie still there? He said, no, lad, he got out. I was like buzzing. So then I eventually got out. I got him back on Facebook and stuff. I hit him up. And then it wasn't until actually last year where we linked up. I was supposed to meet him in Liverpool again, didn't end up happening. And I said, you know what? I said, I'll come down on a train and meet her at Euston. Met him at Euston, went for a beer, went to All Bar 1 outside Euston Station, went to Nando's was rammed out, went to Cafe Rouge, had a beer, went back to All Bar 1, carried on supping the Guinness. Frenchie likes the Guinness. I was on Peroni or fucking Stella or whatever I was on. Frenchie got off. And that was it. And then obviously, then I seen him a few weeks later. We did a TV appearance together. And then all these documentaries and stuff that come to me, I put to Frenchie. Frenchie jumps on it, man. So it just works, man. And then obviously, we filmed up in Salford. Then we was up in Salford again just 2-3 weeks ago. Then we provided security at the funeral of the children who died in that tragic fire started by them cowards at 5 to 5 in the morning on December the 11th. So, yeah, man. And then Frenchie's going to be on TV in a few days on a prison documentary. I'll give you guys the heads up when that comes out. So yeah, man, just became friends and stuff. I'm loyal, man. I'm saying, and French is obviously is a very interesting character, and he's got an intensity about him. He's got an aura about him. He's a gentleman. So it says here, number 16 is Lee latest asks, do you know what Frenchie said in Danny's Dyer's ears that day? Yes or no? And if so, don't repeat it. I don't actually know. It's the question. Oh, if you ask Frenchie, right, my mate asked Frenchie. And Frenchie said, I'll tell you what I tell the police, no comment. And then when I did the Q&A with Frenchie in Piccadilly Station in the bar above the station on the platform, he was asked again from a subscriber. I think it was Lee latest. And Lee asked him, like I asked for Lee, who's asking this question, what did you say to Danny Dyer? And he said, I'm not saying nothing. So I don't know, Lee. Lee asked, do you see any counsellors or get any mental health help for what you've been through? No, to be honest with you. Like I said, I think there's a lot of people out there that think I'm some sort of psychopath, fucking sociopath, crazy guy, right? Have I got issues for what I've been through? And like I say, have a lot of people got mental health issues? Absolutely. I tried to hang myself when I was 14. I've lived a crazy, mad life, just like a lot of us. I haven't had it any worse than anybody. Well, I have a lot. I've had it bad, but a lot of people have had it a lot worse than me, right? And I'm grateful for what I've been through in a strange way, because it's made me the person I am today. If you change one moment in my life, would I be sat here doing these vlogs? No. So I'm blessed. I don't get any. I've been to psychiatrists. I was in a psychiatric unit in Germany. I've been in psychiatric units. I've had people have tried to, once a doctor tried to have me sectioned. but they was understaffed, so they couldn't come and get me, and the police were busy. So I just walked out of the doctor's, man. But yeah, I don't see any. I see the doctor, and I don't want to say too much to the doctor because, like I said, last time I did that and I started snapping, he tried to section me. So I keep my mouth shut. I get my medication on repeat prescription, ring it up. I just collected it last night, actually, and I keep myself to myself. I deal with my own demons in my own way. Sometimes I'm sociable, sometimes I'm not. But if I wasn't to say that I had issues, then I'd be lying, because I've absolutely got issues. Lee latest asks, did any of the prisoners I was locked up with know I used to correspond with serial killers? And if so, how did they react? I don't think I really branched out and mentioned it, to be honest with you. I just sort of just got on with it and stuff. I don't think I mentioned it. But like I say, the prisoners, I was one of the biggest lads on the wing. Not that that counts for anything in prison. People don't give a shit. But no, I don't think I mentioned it, to be honest with you. But did I make it known that I had a vested interest in serial killers and crime and gangsters and gangs? Absolutely. Lee latest asks, is there anything in the pipeline with Donald McIntyre, and what did he want to see me for? Right, well, yeah, I met up with Donald about 3 weeks ago up at Victoria Warehouse in Salford. Well, Salford, Manchester. Well, Salford. Right, Salford, Stretford border. Right, it's near Manchester United's ground, guys, yeah. Trafford, Stretford, short of that ends. Classed as Salford, though, as well, because we was on the Salford, Stretford. Anyway, so yeah, we met up with him. Me and Frenchy did some filming. I can't tell you what that's about just now. And the other person that was there that we missed by 5 minutes is bare knuckle boxer and traveller, Paddy Doherty, who was on My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding. He was also on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, and all that sort of stuff. I think he won it, didn't he? So yeah, Paddy was there. He was filming. We was filming. I'll tell you about it more once it comes out, towards the date it comes out. So yeah. Asked when was the last time I laughed my bollocks off and why. Lee latest asked. Just yesterday, I had a catch up with a lad that I was in prison with. Sorry, I think my battery's dying. Yeah, a lad that I was in prison with rang me up last night, was having a right laugh about the prison, about the time we had in prison, the other inmates and stuff, and all the cleaning stuff, and because we're cleaners at the prison and stuff like that. So yeah, we had a laugh yesterday. Lee latest asked, what's the one thing you've always wanted materialistic wise? Do you know what, Lee? Right, I grew up with fuck all. Absolutely nothing. Right, hand-me-downs and stuff like that. Didn't have, like, really, like, had a shit sort of like life. I didn't have anything materialistic wise, nothing. I used to like my watches. I used to like really nice watches, really nice expensive watches. I used to like them. Used to like watches. I don't drive, but I've driven cars when I was involved with the drug world. Used to drive like Porsche Cayennes, BMWs, M3 convertibles. Like I say, nice cars, man. Nice cars. S-Line fucking Audis, fucking, like I say, WRX STIs, Subaru Imprezas. Just crazy stuff, man. But materialistic wise, as long as my mum was always all right and stuff like that, I would go with money. Was money, man. Coloured bits of paper, right? So I didn't value it. Now I've not got any. I fucking want some. But I used to look after my mum more than I'd look after myself. But yeah, I wasn't really materialistic, and I'm still not to this day. Lee latest asks, what sort of figure would tempt you back into work? If not, what's your dream job? Now, I've had people since I've left prison. I was offered like a £4,000. A £4,000 sum, like a 4-figure sum, to go after somebody there, just to collect some money and stuff, right? But I turned it down. It would have been very easy to take. If my mum wasn't here, I would have a price. But because she's still here, I made her a promise I wouldn't do anything, so I'm not going to. If not, what's my dream job? I'd love to work in the media. I would love to be a journalist. There's too many scumbag journalists out there, so I'd love to be a journalist, but I don't have any academic qualifications or anything, so it will never work. Lee latest asks, would you say your situation is good, bad, or getting better or worse? Now, as I say, guys, I'm on my arse now. The money that I've had, I've fucking squandered a long time ago because it was coloured bits of paper. I always knew the next lot of money was coming close. Like I say, I was running doors, I was doing my illegal shit. Do you know what I mean? I was collecting debts, I was involved in the drug trade. I'd done a lot of stuff, and I was earning money every which way I could. Money was addictive, but then I just palm it off on other people because it was coloured bits of paper. I was sick of seeing money. Right? Now I've not got any, I want it back. So yeah, it's just, I keep applying for jobs. I keep getting rejected because I'm an ex-offender. Is what it is, man. Lee latest asks, would you say you're a psychopath, or do you feel you have psychopathic tendencies? I've got like 4 minutes left of this. Now, I was diagnosed, I was kicked out of the army. I was also like people, when I was put in this psychiatric unit, right, I saw like 5 shrinks, right, and they said that I had psychopathic tendencies. I've been called, apparently I show sociopathic traits as well. People say I'm a psychopath, and some say I'm charming and like charismatic and I can charm people, and then there's that other side of me. But yeah, according to certain psychiatrists, I have psychopathic tendencies. The word psychopath has been mentioned. I'm shameful of that because there's a lot of stigmas attached with these words. But yeah, like I said, sociopathic traits, apparently I carry some of those. Psychopathic tendencies I have. And some people have said I'm just a psycho, but I don't. Even the media label me a psycho on one occasion, but I'm pretty chilled, man. So I don't really buy into that. I don't really subscribe to that, but I understand the logic. You guys will have to let me know. There's people on my subscribers that are psychiatrists and stuff, and psychologists. You'll have to let me know. Do you see any psychopathic traits in me? Psychopathic tendencies, sociopathic traits? You'll have to let me know. Lee Latest asks, do you think the feds are wanting to get you back behind bars for what you do on here? The police can try to go for me all they want, but I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm very careful about what I say. I'm very careful. I mean, I don't break the law. I'm very wary of what I don't have a filter up here, but I'm actually very careful about what I say. So no. Lee Latest asks, what's your favourite board game? I haven't played board games since I was a kid. I used to love Monopoly, but I used to smash the board up when I used to lose, is what it is. Lee Latest asks, do you have any casual friends that you chill with on the regular, or say go out for a pint with apart from Frenchie? Of course, I know a lot of people. I don't trust many people, but I know a lot of people. I'm actually going out for a beer with a lad that I was linked up with on Facebook yesterday. We're going out for a pint on Saturday in town. So yeah, of course, man, I know a lot of people, but I keep my circle small. But I have associates on further than that. Lee Latest asks, if all out anarchy broke out in the streets and you didn't have any family to protect, what would you do and where would you go? I'd either go to prison and try to break people out of prison, or we'd just take it to the police. Obviously, I'm talking hypothetically, guys, so that's that. But yeah, probably have it with the police and then try to take over a prison and let prisoners out and stuff. That's if like it was like all out riots, you know what I'm saying? Lee Latest asks, do you sleep with a weapon? Now, I used to. When I was active, I used to sleep with a lot of weapons. I used to have quite a few toys to hand and stuff like that. But like I said, I moved the dress and stuff like that. I'm chilled out. I'm away from the life now. So I have weapons, but I don't have them to hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can fashion a weapon out of anything. You know what I mean? Lee Latest asks, how long before chaos breaks out on our streets? I reckon it's going to be very, very soon. I think that's very, very close, to be honest. AJ Rowe asks, how do you deal with haters and trolls? People ring me stuff off withheld numbers. If they want it, fucking come and meet me. As simple apart from that, trolls, mate, are trolls. They're sat there, fucking hide behind a computer, don't meet me. AJ Rowe asks, why won't I watch horror films? I had a thingy when I was a kid and they scared me and I've never watched them since. I'm running out of time, guys. I've literally got a few seconds left, so I'm going to have to leave it here. Like, comment, subscribe.